So here's the place that we're now at in the United States when it comes to mass shootings. ABC News tweeted the following. Panic erupted in Times Square late Tuesday night after a motorcycle backfired and caused fears of a possible active shooter. The NYPD said it received multiple 911 calls about the incident. There have been no reports of injuries. So, I can't show the video for copyright reasons, but it's exactly as you would expect. A car backfires, and then you see people running every which direction. And, the person recording it, at least from the angle that I saw it from, seemed to know it wasn't a shooting, and he was just like, wow, this is wild. So, our entire country has PTSD and is deeply traumatized. Because you know what? If I was in that situation and I was there, I probably would have reacted the same. Are you going to know up front that, that was just a car backfiring? No. So what's your assumption going to be? If you hear that, you're not going to roll the dice and take any chances. I'm telling you, man, if you're an American, you can watch this story and go, that kind of makes sense. But if you're somebody who's not in America and you hear about this story, you're going to be like, oh my God. That is absolutely terrifying. Other developed countries don't deal with stuff like this. They don't. It's just a non-issue. They have stricter gun reform, and it's a non-issue. They just don't deal with it in the same numbers that we do. So their default assumption would be a car is backfiring. Of course. They'd be like, yeah, obviously, car's backfiring. Duh. For us, the default is it's probably a mass shooter and I need to save my life. Is anybody okay, even if you're a hardcore right-winger and you're big time against any kind of gun reform, does this status quo seem okay to you? Do you think this is awesome. This is fine. There's nothing wrong here. There's nothing weird about this. You know it. You know it's fucked up. And you also know that the answer is not more guns. By the way, there was an interesting story in the wake of the El Paso terror attack where there was a guy who's he was formerly in the military, and he has his permit to carry. Concealed carry, open carry, I don't remember what it was. But either way, he had a weapon. And when the shooting happened, he pulled out his gun, ran on the scene, tried to save some kids. He did successfully save some kids, so he's a hero. But when he had pulled out his gun, he said, people thought I was one of the shooters immediately. So there's all this mass confusion when an event like that is happening. And it's not as simple as good guy with a gun stops bad guy with a gun. That's like this simplified action movie version of the way it would unfold in an ideal scenario. Is, okay, horrendous, a guy pulls out a gun and starts shooting people. Good, Chuck Norris or Clint Eastwood or fucking whoever. I know those are the old school guys. They pulled out the gun and stopped him. In real life, there's a lot more confusion, a lot more up in the air stuff. People think if you pull out the gun, you're part of the bad guys, and maybe the cops show up and shoot you too. It's too much. There's too much going on. So it did not work. The good guy with the gun thing did not work in that instance. So we know what the answers are. The polls show everybody knows what the answers are, at the very least to drastically reduce these shootings, but we're not doing it. And we're not going to do it because the NRA bought the Republican Party and they block all change on this issue. And the NRA is bought and owned by the gun manufacturers to the point where they're not even representing, the NRA is not even representing their membership because a majority of their membership supports universal background check. This is my city, dude. In my city, this shit is happening. And I said it in the wake of the shootings in the original segment, but the thought that keeps getting me is we know as a matter of fact that within the next 6 months, somebody's out there right now living their life, picking up their daughter from ballet class and going to the store, pick up some milk, whatever it might be. There are people out there living a life right now. And those people are going to be dead within the next 6 months from a mass shooter. Guaranteed. I'm doing 6 months to be on the safe side. I could say 2 months, and that's probably true, but I'm going 6. There's some people out there who will die in a mass shooting. Is it going to be somebody you know? Is it going to be you? It's going to be me? It's going to happen again. It's going to happen again for sure. And we'll go right back into this dumbass tap dance that we always go into when one of these things happens. Where the right blames... We just did a segment on it. Let me pull it up here. The right will blame... Not enough guns, 44 million abortions, video games, mental illness, social media, breakdown of the family, entertainment, no fathers, and God. They'll go right back to blaming that. And Democrats will say, hey, we should probably do something about the guns. But they will fight so ineffectually that nothing changes. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat.